The prairie morning came in dusty gold, a light that softened nothing. Dodge City woke slow, shutters creaking open, the blacksmith's hammer finding its rhythm, a stray dog trotting through puddles of sun and shadow. On days like that, even the law took its time. Marshal Matt Dillon leaned against the hitch rail outside his office, coffee cooling in his hand. Chester Goode was sweeping the boardwalk, half-heartedly, more to stir the dust than to fight it. "Hot one coming, Marshal," Chester said. Matt nodded. "Hot weather makes tempers short and whiskey stronger." Keep an eye open before Chester could answer. A sound like jingling silver floated down the street. Soft, steady, almost musical. A man was coming. He was old, thin as fence wire, with a sun-bleached beard and a coat that might once have been blue before the years washed it to gray. In one hand, he carried a carpet bag, bulging and heavy enough to make the mule beside him grunt. The old man stopped every few steps to shift his grip, the bag clinking like a bell. "Now there's a man carrying trouble," Matt said quietly. The stranger finally reached the marshal's office, setting the bag down with a sigh of relief. "You Matt Dillon?" he asked. "No, that's right," Matt replied. "You look like you've been walking since Kansas City." "Name's Obie Tater," he said, "and I've been walking longer than that. Sold me some land out east. Feller struck silver under it. Paid me fair. 40 years poor, and I reckon that's long enough." He gave a tired smile, the kind a man wears when he's not sure if happiness is allowed. Matt eyed the bag. "That all silver in there?" "Cash money, Marshal. $1,500. More'n I ever saw at once in my life." "Then you best not show it off," Matt said. "There's men around here who'd kill you just to hear that bag ring." Obie's laugh was soft but stubborn. "Ain't a soul in Dodge gonna bother a man my age." Matt smiled thinly. "Age don't stop bullets, Mr. Tully." The smell of easy money. By midday, the word had spread like spilled whiskey. Obie Tully, and the old prospector with the heavy bag, was staying at the Dodge house. Top room, back window, where he could see the livery and the prairie beyond. Every man in town seemed to know how much money he carried, and none of them could stop talking about it. At the Long Branch Saloon, Miss Kitty Russell watched faces light with greed and suspicion. "Doc," she said quietly, polishing a glass, "that old man's going to end up robbed, or worse." Doc Adams puffed his pipe and nodded. "Obie's the kind of man who believes the world owes him a good day after a bad life. Problem is the world don't keep accounts." Kitty looked out the window, catching sight of Jake and Lyle Harp, two brothers who moved through Dodge like hungry shadows. "If those two take an interest," she said, "Obie won't live long enough to spend a dime." Doc sighed. "Then we best hope Matt stays interested first." Warning from the marshal. That evening, Matt stopped by the Dodge house. Obie sat at a small table counting his coins one by one, eyes gleaming with the private joy of a man who never thought he'd see silver glint by lamplight again. "You sleepin' any, Obie?" Matt asked. "Hard to, Marshal," he said. "I ain't used to money. Feels like I got something alive in this bag. Keeps rustling at night." Matt smiled. "That's your conscience telling you to put it in the bank." Obie shook his head. "I don't trust banks. Feller behind the counter don't know me from Cain. I'll keep it close, where I can feel it." "Suit yourself," Matt said. "Just keep your door locked. And don't go bragging around town, bragging. I ain't the bragging kind." "Maybe not," Matt said, glancing at the carpetbag. "But your money might be. Wolves on the trail. At the same moment, across town, Jake Hart poured himself a drink and smiled at his brother. Easy pickings, Lyle. Old man like that, heart'll give out before he pulls the trigger. Lyle hesitated. Marshal Dillon won't take kindly. Jake laughed. Marshal Dillon don't sleep with his boots on. We do it quick and quiet. We'll be halfway to Cimarron by sunrise. Lyle frowned. What if the old man ain't got it all with him? Jake leaned forward. Ain't no what if. I saw him flash a roll thicker than a preacher's sermon. He's rich, Lyle. And tonight, so are we. Luck and liquor night fell heavy and windless. Inside the Long Branch, lamps burned low, smoke curling in lazy ribbons. Obie sat at the bar with Kitty, telling her how he'd worked mines in Colorado, dug wells in Texas, and gone hungry in 3 states before the earth finally paid him back. Bought you a drink, Marshal, Kitty said as Matt entered. You'll need it. Matt leaned on the bar beside Obie. You best head to bed, old-timer. Just one more whiskey, Obie said. For Luck. Luck's a liar, Matt said softly. She don't come when you call her. Jake Harp watched them from the corner table, his grin small and poisonous. When Obie finally stumbled out into the street, carpetbag in hand, Jake nudged Lyle. There he goes. Let's pay our respects, midnight visitors. The Dodge house was quiet when they came. Jake forced the lock with a knife. Lyle kept lookout. Inside, Obie snored under thin blankets, the bag by his pillow like a loyal dog. Jake moved slow, revolver ready. He reached the bed, lifted the handle. Don't, Obie said suddenly, eyes open. That's my life you're touching. Jake froze, then smiled. Life's worth more'n that, old man. He swung the gun, meaning to scare him quiet, but Obie moved, surprising fast. The shot went wide, punching a hole in the wall. Obie's shout split the silence, and then another sound cut through, the thunder of boots. Marshal Dillon, Jake snarled, of course. Matt hit the door like a hammer, Chester right behind him. Drop it, Harp, Matt shouted. Jake fired. The flash lit the room red. Matt's return shot came a heartbeat later. Clean, controlled, final. Jake crashed back against the dresser and slid down, eyes open, not seeing. Lyle froze, weapon half drawn, and Chester leveled his gun. Don't be stupid, he warned. Lyle dropped it. He made me do it, Marshal. Weren't my idea. My every bad thing starts with someone saying that, Matt said. The morning after the town woke to talk of the Hart brothers, of gunfire in the night, of money spilled like rain on the floor of the Dodge house. Doc patched Obie's head and wrapped his hand. Lucky you didn't lose more than blood, Doc said. Obie nodded weakly. They took half the money. Half's better than none, Matt said from the doorway. You can earn again what you lose. You can't earn your life back. Obie looked down at his wrinkled hands. 40 years I worked for something I could hold. Turns out it's what nearly got me killed. Matt sat beside him. Money don't make a man rich, Obie. It just gives him a heavier pocket when he falls. Obie smiled faintly. Guess I'll let the bank do the holding from now on. That's wise, Matt said. Lessons in dust. Later that day, Kitty found Matt outside his office, cleaning his gun beneath a sky that looked tired of everything below it. He's leaving town tomorrow, she said. Obie said Dodge was too noisy for a rich man. Matt chuckled. It's too noisy for a poor one, too. Kitty tilted her head. You ever wonder what you'd do with a pile of money, Matt? He thought for a moment. Buy some quiet somewhere, I reckon, but I'd miss the noise, she smiled. I figured you would. Across the street, Chester swept again, humming off-key. The boardwalk looked no cleaner than before. "Funny thing," Doc said, joining them. "Money brings out the same in people as whiskey. A little truth, a lot of trouble." Matt looked out toward the horizon. "Maybe so. But it's trouble that keeps Dodge honest." The wind picked up, carrying the last of the night's gun smoke out across the plains. The town settled back into its rhythm, cautious, imperfect, alive. And somewhere beyond the bend of the river, the coins Jake Harp had thrown in glimmered under the current, turned in lazy circles. A fortune left to the water, a reminder that greed, like the prairie wind, never really dies. It just moves on to the next town.